I noticed her lipstick first bright crimson, catching the light beneath the restaurant chandeliers. Clara had never worn anything that bold before, not until recently, when she decided to flaunt her newfound confidence. It was our 10th wedding anniversary, and we were hosting dinner in my parents' sprawling dining hall, surrounded by both families. Her mother sat beside her, posture stiff, scanning the room as if waiting for me to slip. My mother fussed over the roast, while my uncles and cousins chatted politely. The air crackled with unspoken tension. "Don't move the napkins," Clara snapped, realigning them according to her sense of perfection. "I'm trying to make sure everything looks good," I said through a forced grin. "It already does," I murmured, hoping to avoid conflict before we'd even sat down. She rolled her eyes, exhaling sharply, as though I was too blind to see that nothing was truly perfect. This whole dinner had been her idea. "We need a big celebration," she'd said, flashing her mother a secretive smile. I suspected they were plotting something, but I couldn't have guessed how far it would go. Her mother, Evelyn, sipped her wine with that smug half-smile of hers. "You know, Clara," Evelyn said loudly enough for everyone to hear, "sometimes you need to shake things up to keep a marriage alive. Don't let him lock you in a cage." I stiffened. Evelyn had made comments like that before. Little insinuations that I was some overbearing husband suffocating her perfect daughter. "I don't keep her in a cage," I said lightly. "She does what she wants." Clara's sister Naomi smirked. "Is that why you two still don't have another kid? Because she's too busy living her best life, or you're too busy with work?" That stung. We had only one child, a daughter named Lila. I bit my tongue, glancing at my father, who quietly cut his steak, pretending not to notice the barbs. He hated conflict, and his silence was his shield. Dinner limped forward. Silverware clinked, strained laughter rippled through the table, but the tension never eased. And then I saw Clara and Evelyn exchange a glance, a signal maybe. When the dessert arrived, Clara stood, glass in hand. "I have an announcement." Her red lips curved into a smile that wasn't really a smile. "I hope you'll all support my decision." My mother froze mid-slice of cake. "What decision, dear?" Clara tilted her head, confidence radiating like armor. "For years, I've felt stifled, underappreciated." She gestured toward me. "Adam doesn't meet my needs, emotionally or otherwise." The room went silent. I clenched my jaw, holding back every instinct to retaliate. She'd always enjoyed drama, but this, announcing our private issues in front of both families, was a new low. Then came the bomb. "I've decided I want an open marriage," she said, her voice cool and deliberate. "I'm not divorcing you, Adam, but I need freedom to explore. You owe me that much for years of neglect." Gasps rippled across the table. My father choked on his drink. Evelyn reached out, proud. "That's very brave of you, darling. Don't let anyone stop you from being happy." I felt my pulse hammering. "You've lost your mind," I muttered. "This is how you celebrate our anniversary, announcing you want other men." Clara shrugged, unbothered. "I've tried subtle hints, Adam. You ignored them. Now I'm being honest." Evelyn clucked her tongue. "See? He's ignoring you right now." My mother finally found her voice. "Clara, sweetheart, this isn't appropriate. An open marriage is a private matter. Are you sure you want to say this here?" Clara's eyes flashed. "I'm tired of pretending. If I don't speak, no one will know what he's really like. Cold, work-obsessed, obsessed with appearances." I clenched my fists under the table. "And you think sleeping with other men will fix that?" Evelyn waved dismissively. "If he'd treated you right, you wouldn't be seeking comfort elsewhere." My father tried to intervene. "This isn't the time." But Clara wasn't done. "I'm done with the old rules. I want an open relationship, and if you don't like it, Adam, maybe you should leave." I stood abruptly, my chair scraping the floor. "Maybe I will." Naomi's eyes gleamed. Well, this dinner just got entertaining. My mother looked at me pleadingly, urging restraint, but I was beyond that. Clara had humiliated me in front of everyone our families. Her smug mother, her taunting sister. "Are you proud of yourself?" I said. "You wanted a scene, Clara. You've got it." She sipped her wine calmly. "Don't play the victim, Adam. You neglected me." Evelyn added, "You always have." That was it. I scanned the table one last time. My parents' horrified faces, Evelyn's smirk, Clara's cold triumph. "Fine," I said. "Enjoy your freedom." I stormed out before anyone could stop me. Outside, the night air burned against my skin. Fury, humiliation, betrayal, all churning inside me. That evening should have marked 10 years of love, and she turned it into a public execution. I didn't go home. I slept in my car, parked under a flickering streetlight, replaying every second. By sunrise, my mind was made up. I was done. The next morning, I called my lawyer, a longtime friend named Michael. "I want a divorce," I said, voice hoarse. "She humiliated me in front of everyone and declared she wants multiple lovers. I'm finished." Michael hesitated. "That's brutal, man. Are you sure you don't want to try counseling first?" I almost laughed. "Counseling? After that circus?" We discussed assets. The house, our savings, our daughter Lila, now in her second year of college. I dreaded how she'd react to the news, but right now, survival came first. Clara's texts started flooding in. Arrogant, accusatory. "You ran away like a coward. If you loved me, you'd understand my needs. Don't you dare file for divorce." I ignored them until my phone died. By the third day, I went back to the house to grab clothes. Clara was waiting with Evelyn, of course. "Well, look who crawled back," Evelyn sneered. Clara crossed her arms. "Are you done sulking?" "Sulking?" My voice was ice. "I'm filing for divorce," she scoffed. "Over a little request for freedom? Grow up." Evelyn smirked. "He's always been uptight, dear. Don't worry, we'll handle him." "No," I said flatly. "You won't." I grabbed my suitcase and walked out. "Coward!" Evelyn shouted after me. "You never gave her love." I didn't look back. Weeks crawled by. Legal forms, tense phone calls, sleepless nights. Clara posted photos of herself at nightclubs, arms around strange men. Evelyn bragged that her daughter was finally free of that controlling man. My parents were mortified. My father told me not to stoop to their level, and I tried. But the rage festered. Then came the call from Lila. "Dad!" Lila's voice trembled through the phone. "Mom says you're divorcing her because you're afraid of change. She's telling everyone you couldn't handle her growth. Is that true?" I sighed, rubbing my temples. "No, sweetheart. She blindsided me in front of the entire family, announced she wants to sleep with other men, and called it growth. That's why." Lila hesitated. "She never told me that part. She made it sound like you gave up on her." "Lila," I said gently, "your mother made choices. I can't stop her from spinning the story, but I'm not the villain here." There was silence on the line, followed by a shaky exhale. "I just wish you'd both stop hurting each other. Grandma Evelyn keeps telling Mom she's a hero for breaking free. It's toxic." "I know," I said. "Stay out of it, honey. Focus on school." "Okay," she whispered, and hung up. Nights bled into one another. The paperwork dragged on. I signed document after document, cutting ties one clause at a time. Then Michael called. "Adam, before we finalize, I need to ask any reason to suspect infidelity before the open marriage thing?" I paused. "No proof. But she changed fast. It wouldn't surprise me." "Doesn't matter much," he said. "You're in a no-fault state. We just need to protect your assets." "Good," I muttered. "I'm not giving her more than she deserves." But while we worked through legalities, Clara was busy poisoning the narrative. She told friends and neighbors that I'd abandoned her, that I was emotionally abusive. Evelyn backed her up, of course. Soon enough, whispers reached me at work. People looked at me differently. One evening, I found her waiting outside my parents' house, clutching papers. "Sign these," she said, thrusting them at me. I skimmed through them. "You're out of your mind. Half the house, half my savings, monthly support." She crossed her arms. "You owe me. You made me feel trapped for years." I barked a laugh. "You threw a grenade into our marriage, and now you want severance pay." Evelyn appeared from the car, arms folded. "You'll sign them, or we'll drag you through court. You don't want people to hear what kind of man you really are." "You mean the kind who refused to fund your daughter's freedom tour?" I said coldly. "Try me." They stormed off, Evelyn's shrill threats fading down the driveway. When the court date finally came, Clara arrived in black, Evelyn glued to her side. She cried on cue, telling the judge how neglected she'd felt, how I'd driven her to consider other men. Evelyn called me controlling and cruel. Michael calmly countered. My client's neglect consisted of supporting his wife's every whim until she humiliated him at their own anniversary dinner. The judge's expression soured. The ruling was clear. Sell the house, split the proceeds, minimal spousal support for 6 months. Clara's face crumpled. Evelyn shot daggers at me as they left. For the first time in months, I felt light. Free. I moved into a modest townhouse, bare walls, minimal furniture, peace. I kept busy with work, the gym, quiet evenings. Dating wasn't even a thought. Lila visited occasionally, careful to avoid the subject of her mother. I appreciated the silence. Then one evening, my phone rang. Unknown number. When I answered, Clara's voice came through, shaky. "Adam, I need help." I almost hung up. "Help?" "I need money," she said, her tone switching from fragile to demanding. "It's medical. It's serious." "What kind of medical?" A pause. "It's an infection, an STD. The insurance doesn't cover everything." I froze, disbelief giving way to disgust. "So you want me to pay for your recklessness?" "Don't be cruel," she snapped. "I made mistakes, but you neglected me for years. You drove me to this." I laughed bitterly. "You humiliated me, cheated on me, and now you're sick and that's my fault?" "Adam," she pleaded, "please, I need this treatment. I can't afford it alone." "You wanted freedom," I said. "You got it." I hung up. The next day, she showed up at my townhouse. Evelyn was with her naturally. Clara's face was pale, her eyes sunken. "Adam, open the door," Evelyn shouted. I opened it halfway. "What do you want?" "Let me in," Clara said weakly. "We need to talk." "About your illness? We already did." Evelyn glared. "You're heartless. She's sick, and you won't even offer her a chair." I sighed and stepped aside. 5 minutes. They came in, Evelyn judging every corner of my bare living room. "This is how you live now? Pathetic." I ignored her. "What's so urgent?" Clara took a breath. "I tested positive. I need medication, and Mom can't cover it. Please, Adam, I'm desperate." "You're asking me to pay for your disease," I said evenly. She winced. "You think I'm proud of this?" "No," I said, "but you earned it." Tears glistened in her eyes. "You can't just watch me suffer." I folded my arms. "Watch me?" Evelyn pointed a finger at me. "You made her this way." "You never gave her love, so she sought it elsewhere." I laughed bitterly. "She announced her infidelity over dinner, Evelyn. That's not love. That's lunacy." "Then you really won't help?" Clara whispered. "Not a penny." Her eyes hardened. "You'll regret this." I opened the door. "Get out." They left in a storm of curses and slammed doors. The following morning, Lila called again. "Dad, Mom says she's pregnant." I froze. "Pregnant?" "She says it might be yours." I barked a hollow laugh. "Impossible." "Are you sure?" "Positive. I had a vasectomy after you were born." There was silence. "You never told her." "No reason to. We were already distant." "So she's lying." "Or delusional," I said. "Either way, It's not my child. Lila's voice wavered. She's a mess, Dad. I don't know what to do. Stay out of it, I said firmly. Whatever she's going through, it's the consequence of her choices. But she's sick and pregnant. What if... Not my responsibility. She sniffled. You two used to love each other so much. I did love her, I said quietly. Once. The days blurred together. Legal filings, terse emails, hollow sleep. Then one night there was a knock at my door. I opened it to find Clara alone, no Evelyn in sight, her eyes rimmed red. We need to talk, she said, voice subdued. About what? Another plea for money? I'm pregnant, she whispered. I heard, I said. And I heard your theory about paternity. It is yours, she insisted. We were together a few times before the separation. I counted the weeks. Good luck proving that, I said. I had a vasectomy after Lila was born. Her face went slack, then tightened with indignation. That is impossible. How could you keep that from me? We were already drifting. It changed nothing between us. You are lying. Show me proof. I do not owe you a thing. Get off my porch. Tears streaked her cheeks. I am sick, Adam. I have an STD, and now I am carrying a child. My mother cannot cover the bills. You are telling me it cannot be yours. Do you know what that means for me? It means you chose another man. Ask him for help. You are heartless, she said. You are abandoning me again. You chose public humiliation over partnership. Do not rewrite the past. I pointed to the street. She stared at me like a stranger and then retreated down the steps, shoulders shaking. 2 days later, I was in the cereal aisle when Evelyn ambushed me. You vile man, she hissed. Clara is carrying your child and you refuse to help. You would let her suffer rather than pay for her care. It is not my child, I said. Ask her about the men she was with. She told me you slept together once more. You are running away. I had a vasectomy, I said evenly. Believe what you want. Evelyn sputtered, then went straight to threats. We will make you pay, if not in court, then in reputation. Do what you must, I said, walking away. That evening, Lila called, voice tense. Grandma says you are lying, and that it is your baby. Dad, I am confused. I am not lying, I said. Do not let them drag you into this. I hate all of this, she said. Mom is crying. Grandma is raging. You are shutting down. I am stuck in the middle. I know, I said softly. But your mother made choices, and I cannot fix them. She sniffled. I love you. I love you too. A few days passed. Then a text flashed on my phone from Clara. I am ill. I might lose the baby if I do not get better treatment. Please, Adam, do not let this happen. I reread it, my chest tight. However I felt about her, the thought of a child at risk clawed at me. Then the anger returned. It was not my child. I typed, not my child, not my problem. Her reply was a cascade of curses. I powered the phone off. One cold night I came home and found Clara slumped on my doorstep, shivering. I have nowhere else to go, she said. Evelyn is out of town. I have a fever. My next appointment is in 2 days. I cannot afford a motel. You cannot stay here, I said. You would leave me outside like this? I am pregnant and sick. I wavered, then remembered the anniversary spectacle, the posts, the demands. Get up, I said. I will call you a cab. I cannot pay, she whispered. Then leave, I said. If you refuse, I will call the police. You are a monster, she spat. I stepped inside and shut the door. After a long minute, I heard her shoes scrape away down the path. I stood in the dark living room, hands shaking, torn between pity and resolve. 2 weeks later, a thick envelope arrived. A petition for paternity testing. She was demanding child support. I took the papers to Michael. He skimmed and smirked. She is grasping. We will comply, present your medical records, and let the lab speak. We did exactly that. I submitted to the test. We filed the vasectomy documentation. The result returned, not the father. In court, the judge's patience wore thin. He admonished Clara for wasting time and resources. Outside the courtroom, Evelyn rounded on me with tears of fury. "You always wanted to punish her. Now you have." "You are punishing yourselves," I said. "I did not tell her to turn our marriage into a spectacle." Clara pressed a hand to her belly, eyes glassy. "I cannot believe you would do this. I loved you once." "I loved you too," I said. "But you threw that away when you announced you wanted other men." "You never asked why," she said. "You never cared." "I cared," I said. "I am finished now." She stared at me a long moment, then broke down. Evelyn guided her away, shooting me one last venomous glare. That evening, Lila called. "I heard about the test," she said. "Mom is hysterical. Grandma is cursing your name. Are you okay?" "I am fine," I said. "It is over." "There is nothing else to say, is there?" "I am sorry you had to live through this," I said. "You do not need to pick sides. She is still your mother." "I know," she said, "but I cannot defend what she did." "I understand." As weeks rolled by, people told me Clara left the city to start over. She gave birth in a hospital far away. The baby made it, though I heard the illness complicated things. She did not name the father. Evelyn eventually followed her out of town. I never saw either of them again. Lila mentioned her mother occasionally, but only in passing. I settled into my quiet townhouse. Work, the gym, early nights. Sometimes the silence felt heavy, but it was honest. I stood on my porch one evening, watching the sunset smear the sky. I thought about trust, about how quickly love can rot when pride and resentment take over. Clara played her part, Evelyn amplified it, and I became the man who refused to bankroll the aftermath. Some would call that cruelty. Others would call it consequence. Either way, I had stepped off the stage. She wanted freedom. She found it, with all its costs. I locked my door and breathed easier. If she ever tried to drag me back again, with claims or threats or pleas, I knew exactly what I would do. I would choose the same door, the same lock, the same quiet.